More than 4 million years ago, during the opening chapter of the Pliocene epoch, our planet was entering a period of cooling and drying. Forests began shrinking, grasslands expanded, seasons grew harsher and more defined. Across Africa's wide plains, life had to adapt or disappear. In this shifting landscape, a small and rather unassuming primate was making its way across the ground. It looked partly human, yet clearly not human at all. It was short, lightly built, and vulnerable, but despite its modest appearance, it would become one of the most important creatures in the story of our origins. This was Australopithecus. The discovery and naming. Modern science first encountered this ancient relative in 1924. Inside a limestone quarry in South Africa, workers uncovered the skull of a young child. The fossil, later called the town child, was estimated to have belonged to a 3 to 4-year-old who had lived about 2.8 million years ago. The specimen was studied by anthropologist Raymond Dart, who quickly realized he was looking at something extraordinary. Dart believed the skull represented a new kind of primate, one that showed striking human-like characteristics. He named it Australopithecus africanus, meaning southern ape of Africa. His bold claim suggested that this creature might be an early human ancestor. Classification. Additional fossils soon followed. However, acceptance did not come easily. Many scientists at the time rejected the idea that Australopithecus was anything more than an unusual ape. The notion that Africa, rather than Europe or Asia, could be the birthplace of human ancestry was controversial. Gradually, as more complete skeletons were discovered, the picture became clearer. Australopithecus was not simply an ape. It belonged to a broader group known as hominins, species more closely related to humans than to chimpanzees. Evidence suggested it may have descended from Ardipithecus ramidus, while also sharing traits with both apes and modern humans. Despite these similarities, Australopithecus was not classified within the genus Homo. Its anatomy, particularly its skull and skeletal proportions, was distinct enough to justify its own genus. Interestingly, some species appeared more human-like than others. For example, Australopithecus afarensis showed different adaptations compared to Australopithecus anominensis, and later species displayed gradual shifts in form. Was it human? Debate intensified after a major discovery in Tanzania in 1935. 2 trails of fossilized footprints were uncovered, preserved in ancient volcanic ash. Careful reconstruction of Australopithecus feet indicated that these tracks were made by fully upright walkers. The footprints, dated to about 3.7 million years ago, demonstrated clear and habitual bipedalism. This meant Australopithecus walked on 2 legs as its primary mode of movement. For some anthropologists, this was a defining human trait. If walking upright made us human, then surely Australopithecus belonged in the genus Homo. But most researchers disagreed. While it walked upright, other features, especially brain size and facial structure, separated it from true humans. Brain size. CT scans and fossil measurements revealed that Australopithecus had a brain roughly 65% smaller than that of modern humans. Earlier species had even smaller brains than later ones. This discovery was groundbreaking. For decades, scientists assumed that a large brain evolved first, followed by upright walking. Australopithecus turned that theory upside down. It proved that bipedalism came before significant brain expansion. In other words, our ancestors learned to walk long before they developed larger, more complex brains. The first to walk upright. The Tanzanian trackways remain some of the earliest strong evidence of sustained bipedalism. While older hominins such as Sahelanthropus chidensis and Ardipithecus ramidus show hints of upright posture, their skeletons suggest they still spent much of their time in trees. Australopithecus, by contrast, appears to have been the first hominin adapted primarily for life on the ground. Its anatomy reflects this shift clearly. The first ape to leave the trees. One of the most famous Australopithecus fossils, nicknamed Lucy, helped confirm this transformation. Lucy belonged to Australopithecus afarensis and revealed legs that were longer and structured much like our own. Her knees angled inward, allowing efficient upright walking. Feet also changed dramatically. The opposable big toe seen in chimpanzees was absent in adults. The pelvis became shorter and broader to support internal organs during upright posture. A curved spine evolved to balance body weight over the hips. These adaptations made Australopithecus a capable terrestrial walker. Why did it leave the trees? The reason for this shift remains debated. A leading explanation centers on climate change. During Australopithecus's time, Africa experienced cooling trends that reduced forests and expanded open grasslands. In a world with fewer trees, living on the ground offered access to new food sources and allowed movement across wider distances. Body size. Adults rarely exceeded 1.4 meters in height. Females were sometimes up to 50% smaller than males, showing strong sexual dimorphism. Their lightweight build made them easy targets. What hunted Australopithecus? Predators of the time included hyenas, African wild dogs, large cats such as Dinophalus and Homotherium, crocodiles, and powerful birds of prey. Evidence of predation appears directly on fossils. The towing child's skull bears marks consistent with eagle talons. Bite marks and bone accumulations suggest big cats and crocodiles also hunted them regularly. Still good at climbing. Despite adapting to the ground, Australopithecus did not abandon climbing entirely. Curved fingers and certain shoulder traits suggest it retained tree climbing abilities. Juveniles may have been especially adept. Fossil evidence from young individuals indicates more flexible feet that could grasp branches. Trees likely remained essential refuges from predators. Special teeth and diet. Australopithecus possessed thick enamel and large molars, ideal for crushing tough plant material such as nuts and tubers. Grit from soil would have worn down weaker teeth, but their dental structure resisted heavy wear. Enlarged incisors suggest occasional meat consumption, possibly scavenged from carcasses. Most evidence points to a mainly plant-based diet, supplemented with opportunistic animal protein. Technology. Another remarkable development may have been tool use. In 2011, archaeologists discovered stone tools at Lomekwi in Kenya, dating back 3.3 million years. These are currently the oldest known stone tools. Many researchers believe Australopithecus could have made them, though another hominin, Kenyanthropus, is also a candidate. In Ethiopia, Australopithecus afarensis fossils were found near animal bones marked by stone tool cuts. This suggests they may have used tools to butcher carcasses and extract marrow, a valuable nutrient source. Range and timeline. Australopithecus species spread across eastern and southern Africa, and possibly into central and northern regions. Their timeline spans over 2.3 million years, making them one of the longest-lasting hominin groups. Their ecosystems included elephants, giraffes, rhinos, hippos, antelope, horses, pigs, monkeys, birds, reptiles, and countless smaller mammals. It was a dynamic and dangerous world. Extinction. By around 1.98 million years ago, the last known species, Australopithecus sediba, disappeared. Some researchers describe this as pseudo-extinction, meaning that while Australopithecus vanished as a genus, some descendant lineages may have evolved into Homo. Causes proposed include climate shifts, competition with emerging Homo species, and ecological pressures. No single explanation has been confirmed. Our direct ancestor? The question of whether Australopithecus is our direct ancestor remains open. For many years, Australopithecus afarensis was considered the prime candidate. Today, scientists debate whether multiple Australopithecus species contributed to the Homo lineage, or whether a different branch gave rise to us. What remains undeniable is its importance. Australopithecus represents a crucial chapter in human evolution, the stage when upright walking became permanent, when survival strategies diversified, and when the foundation for later human development was laid. It was small, vulnerable, and unaware of its future significance. Yet without Australopithecus, the story of humanity would look very different. And this is only one piece of the vast puzzle of our past. Discover the forgotten creatures of Earth's ancient past with Antique Animals. Subscribe to Antique Animals and explore the incredible story of life before us.